All right, this is, let's see, study guide, and we're exam study guide. We're on number 13 today. So number 13 asks you to write an equation in slope-intercept form of a line through the point. Your point is -7, 6. And the slope, or the m, is equal to -4. All right, so when you're given a point and you're given the slope of a line, write it in point-slope form first. And I gave you that on problem number 1 yesterday. So if you write this equation in point-slope form first, it would be y minus 6 is equal to -4 times x plus 7. All right, they want it in slope-intercept form though. So here's the process to put it in slope-intercept form. Distribute the 4, or the -4 first. So you would have y minus 6 equals -4x minus 28. And then just solve for y, which means you would add 6 here and add 6 here. Add 6 to each side. So now you got y equals -4x, and -28 plus 6 is -22. So there's your equation in slope-intercept form for a line that passes through this point with this slope. Number 14. Find the value of x. L is parallel to M. So if L is parallel to M and you're given 2x and 54, these two angles are considered corresponding angles. And two parallel lines with a transversal, corresponding angles are congruent to each other. So 2x is equal to 54. And we can divide each side by 2. So x would be equal to 27. Number 15. They give you a picture of 3 triangles. This first triangle is TVU, FGH, and ABC. The next bit of information that is given are these sides and angles. Question is, which triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle? Which triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle? So you need an angle, an included side, and an angle. All right, in the first triangle, you don't have 2 congruent angles, do you? All right, so I'm not going to use that. Kind of by process of elimination. Now, here's what the problem, or here's where it may get a little bit difficult, is the order of the vertices. All right, angle, side, angle. So look, one arc, 2 marks, 2 arcs. Okay, so if you call this one FGH, Started with the one arc, went through the two tick marks to the G. So down here you've got angle, side, angle. You got to go in the same order. You would have to call this triangle CBA. All right? So that's what's going to make this question hard. So in this case, CBA is congruent to FGH. All right? And they're probably going to have a bunch of the same letters, but they're going to be in different order. So make sure that you check the order of the vertices in each of the answers. Number 16 says to write an equation in point slope form. For a line through the point J is at 3, -1, and the slope is equal to m equals -9. So watch, point slope form, again, the letter y, and then the opposite of the y value. So you would write +1 equals the slope, -9, parentheses, the letter x, and then the opposite of the x value. So this would be -3. So that is your point slope form for a line through that point with slope of -9. Did you get a study guide yesterday?
Yeah.
All right. Number 17. All right, you're told that these two lines are parallel, that this angle in here is 56 degrees. This is x -4, y -6, and that this in here is 72 degrees. And you're asked to find the values of x and y. So they're giving you this 72 for a reason, all right? They're giving you the 72 because the lines are parallel and this horizontal line becomes a transversal. So this angle is congruent to this angle. All right? So x -4 is equal to 72. So if x -4 is equal to 72, you add 4 to each side, and x is equal to 76. There's your value of x. But now what you can do is you can get rid of this x -4 that's in here and replace it with a 72, because that's what this angle's measure is. So this is 72. These three angles together form a straight line. So the sum of these angles is equal to 180. So 72 plus 56 plus y -6 is equal to 180. So you got to combine your like terms. 72 plus 56 minus 6. 122? If you combine all three of them, right? So 122 plus y is equal to 180. So subtract 122 from each side. And y is going to be equal to 180 minus 122, 58. All right, so there's your value of y, and here's your value of x. Number 18. What is the converse of the following conditional? Converse. That's when you switch. SWIT. when you switch the hypothesis and conclusion. All right, remember the hypothesis follows the if, the conclusion follows the then. So you're told that if a point is in the first quadrant, then its coordinates are positive. All right, and they ask you for the converse of this statement. So this red right here would be the hypothesis, and the blue would be the conclusion. So when you're writing a converse of a statement, you switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. So you're looking for a multiple choice answer that says something along the lines of, if the coordinates of a point are positive, then it is in the first quadrant. You've got, right now you should have some space on that study guide right above number 18. All right, when we were doing this conditional, converse, inverse, contrapositive, we had a little chart, or you had a little chart that I gave you. So remember the P stood for hypothesis and the Q stood for conclusion? And look, in a conditional, it went hypothesis, then conclusion. They're lowercase p, q. So if P, then Q was the symbol. For the converse, it went if Q, then P. For the inverse, you negate the original hypothesis and you negate the original conclusion. And then for the contrapositive, you negate the converse, so you negate the conclusion. So it would be if not conclusion, then not hypothesis. And I'm pretty sure there's one or two other questions related to conditional statements. So if you've got this little table in your notes, you should get all of those correct. P is the hypothesis. Q is the conclusion. All right, the arrow means, it means if hypothesis, then conclusion. And the squiggly line means not, or to negate. Got it? Number 19, triangular playground. A triangular playground has angles with measures in the ratio 9 to 6 to 5. Angles in a triangle. What is the measure of the smallest angle? So look, this is called an extended ratio. All these angles have to add up to 180. So you write 9x plus 6x plus 5x equals 180. All right? You solve for x, which is your multiplier. 9 plus 6 is 15, plus 5 more is 20. So you got 20x equals 180. If you divide both sides by 20, all right, then x is equal to 9. right? 180 divided by 20, 18 divided by 2 is 9. So x is equal to 9. What is the smallest angle? That means the smallest angle is this 5 times the multiplier angle, okay? So in this case, the smallest angle is going to be 5 times 9, which is 45 degrees. The largest angle would be 9 times 9, which is 81 degrees. And this middle angle would be 9 times 6, which is 54 degrees. Number 20. They're asking you if two lines are parallel to each other. They're giving you the points on either line. So you can say that parallel lines have the same slope. Okay? I've already given you the slope formula. So if the first point is at 4, negative 9, and negative 6, negative 6, you find the slope of this first line. And you would do that by m is equal to negative 6 minus negative 9 divided by negative 6 minus 4. This is the slope of the first line. So look, negative 6 minus negative 9, you change and change. So negative 6 plus 9 is 3. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. So the slope of this line is negative 3 over 10. Then you have to find the slope of the second line. The second line is at 3, negative 3, negative 1, 0. So the slope of this second line is equal to 0 minus negative 3 divided by negative 1 minus 3. So 0 minus negative 3 is positive 3, and negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. So the slope of this second line is negative 3/4. All right? So since they don't have the same slope, they're asking you if the lines are parallel? No. The explanation is they don't have the same slope. Number 21. Two sides of this triangle are congruent, which means it's an isosceles triangle. This base angle is 5x minus 60. And this exterior angle is 5x. And you're asked to find the value of x. All right, if these two sides are congruent, then these two base angles are congruent. And if those two are congruent, then this angle over here on the right is also 5x minus 60. Minus 60. Okay? These two angles form a linear pair. So those two angles added together have to sum 180. So your equation would be 5x minus 60 plus 5x has to equal 180. So if you combine like terms, 5x plus 5x is 10x minus 60 equals 180. If you add 60 to each side, then 10x equals 240. And if you divide both sides by 10, then x is equal to 24. Number 22. You're given this rectangular prism. And you are asked, are points D, where's D? Back here, this is D, H, and C. C is right here on this corner. Are D, H, and C collinear or non-collinear? Remember, collinear means on the same line. So are these 3 points on the same line or not on the same line? They're non-collinear. They are not on the same line. '23 asks you for 3 collinear points. So you're looking for 3 points that are on the same line. And you've got a picture of a plane. And a line going through this plane. What are the names of 3 collinear points? So you got point P is right here. This is M. And N is right here. So those are the only 3 points in that diagram that are collinear. So P, M, and N. You've got point C that's right here. That's in the plane. This could be point A. This is point B down here. Okay? On the exam, they may ask you for 3 coplanar points. Remember, coplanar means in the same plane. All right? Non-coplanar means not in the same plane. So be aware of those definitions. And 24. It's a triangle next to a house or a building problem. And you've got a tree, let's see, right about here. Oh, good, I get to draw a tree. I love drawing trees. Look at that, buddy. That's getting her done right there. That's what I'm talking about. What? No, I didn't. I don't like Christmas trees. If you get this problem wrong, I apologize in advance. Because they put the dang symbol on here, and they tell you that that's 32 degrees, and they ask you for X. I hope it's 32 degrees. All right. Doesn't this symbol mean that the angles are congruent? Yeah. So if this is 32, then X is equal to 32. Okay. I hope so. What number is that one? 24? Yeah, that's 32. That's kind of a gimme. All right. All right, going to stop there today. We're almost halfway through. We'll finish the study guide Thursday and Friday in class.